and I've got a question to ask you all. Ever had a crush on someone, but when you got to actually know them, they turned out to be completely different? Boy, do I have a story for you. I got stuck in the elevator with my crush, and he told me something that would change our relationship forever. My crush's name is Cody. He was class president and one of the most popular boys in our school. All the girls had a huge crush on him, but he had a girlfriend. I didn't care though. I mean, there's no way he was gay or even knew I existed. I was perfectly fine admiring him from afar. He seemed like a really good guy. He was always trying to do the right thing, and not to mention, he was super cute. He had blonde hair and soft brown eyes. He wore glasses, but he really knew how to pull them off. If only I could have a chance to speak with him, I'm sure we would get along great. I fantasized all the funny things I would say because it didn't hurt to dream. One day after class was over, I saw him walking towards the dorms. I caught up and followed him into the building. Just as the elevator door was closing, I yelled, "Hold the door, please!" I managed to slip in right at the last second. It was just me and Cody in the elevator, and I was so nervous I couldn't even look at him. I finally got the courage to look up, and just as I was about to speak, there was a loud rumbling. The elevator started shaking, the lights started flickering, and then suddenly, it stopped. There was a loud thud, and we both fell to the floor. We were stunned. It seemed like the elevator was stuck. I tried to use my phone to make a call, but no reception. We used the call box in the elevator, and someone on the other line responded. I told them that we were stuck in an elevator and to send help, but there was too much static. After a few seconds of struggling, they hung up. Curse these crappy dorm buildings. Now all we could do was wait for help. After a few moments of silence, Cody introduced himself, and I pretended that I didn't know his name. We started chatting a bit, mainly about school and classes. He thought I was really funny, and everything seemed to be going great. I asked if he had any siblings. He told me he was an only child, but he did spend a lot of time hanging out with his parents, and he really looked up to them. But ever since he got to college, he's not so sure his parents' choices or opinions were the right ones. I asked him, "What do you mean by that?" He looked at me and said, "Oh, well, like, being gay is wrong." I was shocked by this, but I let him finish. Cody told me that he grew up in a very strict, religious household. His entire life, he was taught to hate gay people, and he even used to bully kids he thought were gay. He said that he still thought it was a little disgusting. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My crush, the person I respected the most, actually thought I was disgusting. I felt really hurt by those statements and stupid for even falling for him. Cody turned to me and stared me directly in the eyes and said, "I still think love should be between a man and a woman, but I've met some gay people here and they don't seem as bad as my parents made them out to be." He seemed to be genuinely torn and was struggling to come up with his own opinions outside of his parents. I was seething inside with anger, but I managed to remain calm on the outside. I told him that I was gay and that when I was younger, I had to suffer through a lot of teasing and bullying from kids like him. I never felt accepted or comfortable, and I told him that being gay isn't a choice, it's just who I am. He looked a bit surprised, then it quickly turned to embarrassment. I was interrupted by a low rumbling sound. Seems like the elevator was fixed. It started moving upward to the 4th floor where we both lived. Just as Cody was about to exit the elevator, I looked at him and said, "You know, before you knew I was gay, we were getting along perfectly fine. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm a bad person." Cody looked a bit surprised and said nervously, Sure, whatever, man." I left feeling pretty disappointed. I couldn't believe my crush hated gay people. He seemed genuinely nice and respectable. I thought he would at least accept me for me. Who would have thought he grew up full of hate? He was almost no different than the kids I went to school with back home. I was so exhausted after that ordeal that I went straight to bed. Today was a total nightmare. The next morning, I heard a knock at my door. Who could it be? I opened the door and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Cody. He looked very nervous and awkward and said to me, "Hey, thanks for talking to me yesterday. I thought about what you said and stuff. Anyways, do you maybe want to walk to class together?" I smiled, grabbed my stuff, and headed out the door with Cody. I may not have a crush on him anymore, but I would gladly be his friend. Okay, maybe a tiny harmless crush. I'd love to hear your thoughts or stories, so comment below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.